Okay, hi guys. I'm back home. I had to step out real quick to help my friend go. We had to go pick up some stuff from the store quickly for her kids. They're having parties tomorrow or whatever. So anyway, so I had stepped out briefly, and I was I saw the beautiful full moon outside, and it just, you know, I can't help but whenever I see beautiful full moons, and especially when they're super moons or something like that, I can't help but I'm always reminded of that dream that Jehovah gave me. Well, I feel like it was a gift from Jehovah. I don't care what anybody says, because I know the feeling that I got that came over me. Oh, the reason why I had to stop that video is because my friend called me so I could FaceTime her to show her some of the options that they had. Anyway, but I'm always so touched on the inside. Like I'm always, it's crazy how the Bible talks about how with Jehovah we are never without awe. Like we are always in awe of Jehovah. Like it's like his creations, his earth, his things, they always stimulate us. It's like we are never tired, of seeing a beautiful full moon. We're never tired of his creations, and it's like it's always something else that we can explore about Jehovah, right? Anyway, so I wanted to share that story or that dream that I had, because when I saw the moon tonight, it was just so beautiful, right? So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is I'm gonna try not to make this too long, okay? But I've been going over different things that I have learned about like narcissists and the tactics that they use, and mainly because I've always, like I said, my mother raised me so well to usually, I really don't attract controlling men. I don't attract them because I am kind of bossy. So, like, I don't really like that, you know what I'm saying? But I almost feel like this was a necessary part of my growth, for the journey that I'm on as far as helping other women and children who are coming out of situations or whatever, but are especially widowed or whatever, right? It's like I've always been able to really avoid controlling narcissistic men. That's a shadow. Anyway, so if it wasn't for this situation that I just had, the person that I was engaged to, and I whatever. Listen, the situation that I went through was so crazy that the switch up happened so fast. I'm talking about within the week of coming home from our honeymoon. Okay, like it was a very fast switch up, and because of my self-esteem and because of who I am, it literally lasted. Oh, I don't like that shadow on my face. Why do I have a shadow? I don't like that shadow. Anyway, this manipulation, this switch up of this personality, for whatever reason, doesn't matter. The reason, it doesn't matter. Like, I don't, it was an experience, right? But it happened so fast. And let me tell you something. The truth is that with what I actually seen in this person, right? I literally could see what other women have gone through. And I experienced like that fast, and I could see what I've always heard from other women who have gone through things, right? Who have felt trapped in situations with men, right? And vice versa. It could be men that are trapped with women, right? Please just know that this is vice versa. But the point is that because of who I am and everything, my personality and everything, I will get myself out of situation. I don't say in things like, I'm like, no, this isn't for me. I gotta go, right? So I never really experienced this, but it took me less than 3 weeks to get it. Like, actually, it took me about 2.5 weeks to make an actual decision in my heart that I was not going to stay with this person, right? I didn't tell him right away because I could see that he was very manipulative. And I knew that if I told him even by the end of that second week or whatever, that he was going to probably try to like put me out even faster, right? Because I had already moved all my stuff in, right? So I was in a situation, right? But he doesn't notice. I don't care if he's watching me now. I could care less, right? Because the situation is over. But I knew I was not going to be staying trapped. So I definitely just fed him back what he was feeding me, right? I fed him a bunch of lies to keep him pacified, basically, until I found an apartment. And I'm telling you, God is so good that, because when I prayed to get out, he helped me get out. Let me tell you something. God is so good. I actually had 3 places that I could live. I had my own apartment and a friend and another friend. Okay. God was like, oh no, you're going to do the right thing. And this is going to take a lot of strength from you. I'm going to give you options. Okay. I'm going to give you plenty of options. And these are healthy options. Like first I actually do have an apartment. I literally have my own place right now in my name. But God literally said, I'm going to send you so much help. Okay. So, but the thing is, I made the decision, right? I made the decision. And I was like, I'm hightailing it out of here. Because I knew what I was looking at was from the devil. I knew what I was dealing with, right? That this was not, something happened, something switched up with this person, right? And it doesn't matter why. It doesn't matter if it's like, I forgot to take my medicine, or I didn't tell you I had to be on medicine, or I take too much medication and I don't tell you about that either, or I have a demon attack, or I'm having spiritual warfare, or whatever, or I'm just trying to manipulate you, or I'm trying to be controlling, or I'm trying to confuse you. There was a lot of confusion, and it was definitely a lot of narcissistic type of threats and things that were coming out, manipulation, right? So I knew that this type of personality, this what I was looking at currently, this was a no-win situation. It's like a no-win, right? You really can't win in this situation. God, I'm so glad I never had children with this person. Anyway, fact is that though, I learned from this. I learned because it's like, wow, if I wasn't who I was and I didn't have the faith that I had in my God, I could see why this could be such a very scary situation to be in with somebody, right? Okay, I say all that to say, I have read and always heard and learned about these manipulation tactics. But listen, it's going to be my goal from here on out to make sure every female and any woman or anybody who needs to know, man or female, who needs to know what kind of manipulation tactics that these narcissist people use, right? Okay, I'm going to make sure that I preach this to the cows come home to anybody. Believe me. When I say never, like, no, I'm not staying. I would not stay with the devil. I would not live on earth in a living hell. No, I will not. Like I said, I would rather live in a garbage can outside, okay, than stay with any narcissist or anybody who switches up in their personality that's so extreme. Like, it's absolutely absurd. It's absurd that anybody, and I know people go through this, and I feel so bad for women or for anybody who has to deal with this, right? So one of the things they like to do is, well, look, I'm just going to read to you. You can type this in on Google. Just type in manipulation tactics of narcissists, okay? Seriously. And if you are going through something like this, you should be able to, you can easily identify what this other person, and sometimes, I'm telling you, these narcissists, they don't, 99.9% of the time, they don't admit that they're narcissists. They don't know that they're narcissists. They think they're completely justified of their mental deranged personality. Like, they think that they're justified. Like I said, they'll throw scriptures up at you or whatever, or smear campaigns. Oh my God, smear campaign. They will try to tell everybody in their friend circle, in their group, at their synagogue, at their congregation, their elders, everybody that they can. In fact, they'll try to beat you to the jump if they think you are going to leave them and start degrading you. The smear campaigns are one of the number one things that they do. And you know what? Let me tell you what I think about smear campaign. First of all, when I got rid of my narcissist, I got rid of everybody that was around him as well. I got rid of the whole narcissist camp that he was living in. Okay? Nah, I'm not about that life. I'm not about that life. They like to control. They want to control your actions, your thoughts, where you go, and they want to control. That's the whole point. They want to manipulate, right? They want to control. What I do, I don't care about anybody's opinion. I don't care. You got to take that control right out. They think that a smear campaign only works if you actually care about what these other people think. If you care about what these other people think, if your reputation is that great to you or whatever, see, this is where your relationship with God has to come in strong, because you need to have a good two-way communication with God. That the only person that you care about, who who cares about you. Like when you know that God knows the situation, when you know that God's seen everything, like he was in the room with you, when you know that and you are secure about that, and you feel that way, it's like, I don't care if everybody on the planet is against me. If he turned everybody on the planet against me, because you know how many people in the Bible had everybody against them, except for who Jehovah sent out to go do his work. That didn't work. It didn't work with me. I don't care if he told everybody. He could go to my grandmama's grave and sit at the grave and think he's talking to her. And my grandmother in her grave would turn over and laugh. Okay? Don't care. So I nipped that one in the bud right there. But let me just read this to you, okay, before I get off. Narcissists may use threats or of intimidation as manipulative tactics to keep the victim under their control. They might say things like, if you leave, I'll ruin your life, or you'll regret it. You'll never find anybody as good as me. When the truth is, you probably already have found somebody better than them. They just don't think you have. Because you know why? They have such a, what are the 5 main habits of narcissists? Okay, they're cocky, manipulative, selfish, patronizing, and demanding. They have an overinflated sense of self. So they think, in their mind, they really think you're not going to find anybody as better at them or whatever. Okay? Now, let's see. When it talks about, so one of the things they do is they'll try to blackmail you. They will literally try to blackmail you. Let me give you an example, right? Let's say if you've been with this partner for a while or whatever, let's just say that they have photos of you in, let's just say, less flattering positions, all right, in their phone. And they will do things like, well, if the smear campaign don't work, or if their daily manipulation tactics don't work, they might try to blackmail you by saying, well, I'm gonna, let everyone see these photos, or I'm gonna let everybody know about XYZ, or remember when me and you went and robbed that bank together? I hope that's very much exaggerating, but let's say maybe you sling, like, I'm just keeping it real. I'm not about this life. Okay, I'm not about this life, but I'm just keeping it real. Let's say you and that person, are like y'all out there, slinging dope or something like that, like some craziness, right? Or whatever y'all do. I'm not judging anybody, okay? I'm not judging nobody. I'm just saying something that could land you in jail. The point is something that could land you in jail, right? And they'll be like, oh, well, remember when you did this or you did that or whatever, and I got proof of this and proof of that, whatever. They will then try to hold things over your head, right? Okay, this is very predictable. So when you actually just research narcissists, right? Just Google it, just research it, and if you do that, you can be prepared for their tactics. You can be prepared. It says, understand their predictable patterns of behavior, right? Understand their moods and their behavior. They will swing back and forth. They'll, let's see, it says, they'll quickly try to misinform you. Things like that, right? Okay, that's on the list. Let's see. One of the, okay, so one of the number one things that you can do is give them as little attention as possible. Like, give them no energy. Don't give them any, and you can't give them any energy, because any energy is better than none for them, right? But you can't, they have to lose interest in you. They have to get bored with you. Like, literally, they have to just get bored with you, right? And if that's not possible, like, let me just tell you, if that's not possible, and I'm not in this situation, right? Because my situation wasn't that bad. I don't want to demonize this person, because when this person was in his normal state, well, I don't know, maybe, anyway, these were traits that I seen in this person. These were traits that came out, that revealed themselves after we got married. I don't know why, okay? Like I said, I don't know why these traits came out that I never saw, and I've known this person for 10 years. I forgive him. I absolutely forgive him. I'm just sharing some of my experience, right? But I definitely was not blackmailed or manipulated in this particular way, right? But when I have talked to my other friends, and I have other girlfriends literally that have said these types of things to me, right? And in my mind, I've always said, that's so manipulative, that's so wrong. Like, you shouldn't, like, first of all, you can't do that. Like, if you have something, like, for example, the whole phone thing, if you have naked photos of somebody in your phone or whatever, and they try to, like, I'm going to post this, or I'm going to show these people or whatever, first of all, you can go to jail for that, okay? First of all, like, they can try to black me for that? Oh, yeah, no. You know what? I don't care what these people, like, I know plenty of friends that are from up north and everything, and they're like, we don't call it popo, we don't do this, or we don't that. I do. I'm not from there. I do. You want to try to threaten me? Oh, first of all, I'm gonna be prepared, and your butt will go to jail. You try to be threatening. You try to call my phone, or you try to threaten me, or you try to blackmail me, this or whatever. We're gonna go ahead and get this like legalized right now. Your butt's gonna go to jail. I will make sure of that. That's number one. Number two, if I had some naked photos or whatever, and you want to act like that, like if I was dealing with that, you know what I would do? Psh, I would be like, you know what? Let me just lift it all up, and if you want to reveal that or whatever, we're gonna here it is. Because when you know what you do, you take the power away when you're not scared of being shown. Because I'd be like, well, my body ain't that great anyway. I got every fat roll that every other woman has or whatever, and my body ain't. You can literally find better bodies anywhere online, right? So if my body is that great or whatever, so be it. Okay. If you wanted to show me, if you wanted to use that against me, I would be like, you know what, honey? Okay, then you go ahead and put it up on a big old flag or whatever, and I'm gonna still take your butt to jail. I would not care one bit. Okay, the thing about these narcissists is you have to take the control. You have to take the control away from them. They have to lose power. You cannot give them any power. Whatever it is they're trying to blackmail. They try to blackmail you by like, I'm gonna send you to jail, or I'm gonna like, blah 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 blah. You know what? I might be like, you know what? I'd rather sit my butt in jail than look at your ugly face. Okay? Like, I might be like, let me just go on ahead and, I'm gonna go to the cops and just, admit, try to have a plea deal or something. Like, I'm gonna take that power away. Or, let me tell you something else I would do. Okay? Like, let's just say it was something like that. Like, whatever they got, something over you, whatever. You need to go ahead and get something over them privately. Okay? You need to get them on camera or get them on a picture or something. I don't know, but you better get something in your back pocket to use when they come at you with that. Okay, so you can go ahead and play the same game. Okay, if that's what you need to do, because that's what I would do. Because that's how my brain works, right? Like, see, the thing is about me is that I love God. Okay, and I don't ever seek to engage with these type of people. I don't want to engage with these people, but if you put me in a position, I will go toe to toe. And let me tell you something about me, right? The way my grandma is and the way that I am. For example, my grandma used to say, if a man touches you, you better take a frying pan to his head and make sure it's the last time he touches you. Okay, so I'm not going to play fair, right? Like I'm going to make sure we're going to end this game because I don't want to play this game, right? I don't even want to play it. So, that's not like these narcissists, these people that are controlling, or whatever, they're using blackmail or anything like that. If you're going through this situation, please, 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 I promise you better first pray to God. He will get you out of the situation. If it is not right for you and you pray for a way out, he will get you out. You have to let him know, though, that you're willing to go through whatever it is. It's not easy, right? Because, the situation that I was in, in less than 3 weeks, I was I had an apartment within 3 weeks. I literally had an apartment within 3 weeks. But within the second week, I was looking. Okay, it was I was in straight up I want to say fight mode. And see, I didn't look like it on the outside. I went into stealth mode. And see, nobody expects that of me. And you know what? I don't look like I'm that way. Oh, but you just don't know. You don't know what you're dealing with. Because I've been in some situations. I have gone through a lot. I've been through a lot. I just don't show it. I don't always talk about it, right? And I don't always, and I don't live in that space either. Just because I went through this doesn't mean that I'm out here like, oh, every man is a narcissist. Every man is this. And, oh, all men are dirty. All men are nasty. No, that's not actually my experience. I've experienced some things. Yeah, you know what? Like most women I know. I almost don't know a woman on this planet. Very few women. I can only think of 2 people that I even know that I can think of right now who have not expressed to me that they have not been molested. Do you understand? The chances of you being molested, if you are a girl, if you're a daughter, if you have a daughter, if you're a young lady, I'm talking about from baby on up, and don't be attractive. Oh, you're gonna get touched by somebody. You either got a crazy person in the family who's gonna try to touch you, right? Or that crazy, nasty uncle, you know, that old uncle, whatever, that be trying to like, give me some sugar. But as he's giving, give me some sugar, but he's over here trying to squeeze on you and touching you or whatever, you know, like all kinds of stuff, right? You know, these guys that are just, you know what? And we've all been, a lot of us have gone through some things, and we've learned different tactics to cope with it, like displacement, you know, like just displacing yourself, like while the person is doing whatever, right? Okay. I'm telling you, as a woman, I understand. I understand. We have, most women that I know, most women, we have at least one story, but usually 10 crazy stories, and things that could be very traumatizing, or they were very traumatizing, right? The thing about it is that I want you to understand, when you pray to God, you ask Him to help you take that energy that you're feeling, or the energies that person is giving to you, and fuel it for change and for growth and for positive. Take that same energy and fuel it for something else, right? Like when you get angry or mad or whatever, fuel it into like looking into places that you can go or whatever, right? Okay? Or making sure that whatever just happened doesn't happen again, okay? And that's how you transmute energy. Like, you just have to pray, and He will help open your brain, open your mind up to see the ways that you can, you know, get out of the situation that you're in, right? But it first comes with knowledge. It first comes with knowledge. When you understand what a narcissist is, or at least a controlling, vindictive, you know, type of person who's trying to control your happiness, really and truly. But if you're married to a narcissist, or somebody like it who has those type of traits, it's not a marriage. You're not in an equal give and take. You're not, you know, it's like you're not allowed to have your own feelings or your own real emotions or whatever, right? It's like you are in a mental and emotional slave. That's really what it is. And it could be physical too, just depending on your situation, right? Let me tell you, that 3 weeks that I had with that person, because the last week we were not even, he knew, you know, we weren't talking. He knew I was like already, he knew my foot was out the door. He could tell. And I just didn't give in and tell him right away until pretty much all my stuff. Let me tell you, all my stuff was out the house. Let me tell you the truth is, after 1 week of being married to this person who I've known forever, and I lived with him for 9 months, okay? And I still didn't say this, but let me just say, after 1 week of being married with him, he doesn't know this. I created a go bag. I packed myself a whole suitcase and got it out of the house, because I just knew at any moment I was going to have to jet, okay? And I might not even come back for my stuff. Like, he couldn't even hold my stuff for hostage if he wanted to. He didn't do that. But let's just say he tried to be like that. Like, tried to be like, oh, I'm not going to let you come and get your stuff. I'm changing the lock or whatever, which actually he did change the lock. But anyway, the point is that by the time and by the point that he actually even did that or whatever, but I was already prepared that I was already to the point of that I had gotten the most important items, like my birth certificate and stuff like that, out of the house. Okay? He didn't know that, because I already knew. I was like, oh, hell no, something is about to go down in here. I could tell. And see, I actually, because of the things that I've gone through, and I have been in some very sticky situations, where I really have, but my God has always gotten me out. It's just, it's like, I'm not that cat, you know? God has given me like that energy of like a cat. When you like, if a cat, when, you know how when a cat, if they fall off a building or whatever, you know how they always say the cat lands on the legs. Oh, it's like I'm flipping around in the air. I'm about to land on my legs, because I can tell it's about to go down, right? So I'm getting ready. Okay, that's how I roll. So it's just that most people don't see that side of me, because I don't really want to be. I don't try to put myself in situations like that anymore. I mean, I'm too old for that. I'm really too old for that. But you know what? It was a lesson. And so anyway, that's how prepared I was. I'm telling you, I had already started after 1 week. I had already 1 go bag. And by the time I was done, I had 3 go bags. I kept preparing more and more things. And then by the time I actually said, yeah, I'm not staying or whatever, I had gotten everything out of the house that was of any real value to me that I wanted. Everything else that was left in the house, I could care less. You know, it was like just stuff that I could take or leave anyway, right? But the point is that if you have to think on your feet. You have to think quick. And you have to take the control away from them. Whatever it is that they try to hold over you, oh, you need to blow that up. Oh, they got naked photos? Let me just go on ahead and just post my own naked photo. Okay? I mean, whatever. You know what? It's like I'm sorry, my body ain't that great. I mean, it is what it is. Because you know what? I mean, anything is better than living with a narcissist or living with somebody controlling. That's the truth of the matter. And if they're going to try to hold some photos or if they're going to try to hold like something you did, over you, you better blow that up. Whatever that is, just go on ahead and just expose it yourself, do it yourself, or whatever. Go to the cops yourself. Or if there's like, oh, I'm going to tell your mother. Oh, yeah, he did say that. He did say something about calling my mom, telling my mom something. And I was like, I remember saying, I don't know if I said to him, but I was like, honey, I was like, you know what I called my mom? My mother already knows. I don't know why, man. I don't know if it was him or it was my other ex. I don't know. One of my exes, they were like, I'm going to call your mother. Because my mother is so sweet. And my mother is Christian. So it was kind of like, it was like, oh, this good girl's not acting like a Christian right now because she doesn't want to, stay married to me or whatever. She doesn't want to stay in this hellhole, this house of horrors or whatever. And I was like, call my mom. What is my mother going to do? She's going to spank me? She's going to turn me over her leg and spank me? Again, if you care about what your family thinks or what people think or whatever, that might work. But when you don't care what anybody, including your family or whatever, when you don't care what they think, meaning like, it's not that you don't love your family, it's just that they may not understand the severity of the situation that you're in, right? And if they really do love you, at some point, they will understand, and they will accept what's going on. But you see, what he didn't understand, and is that my family is, we have crazy traits. Like we can be, people call us crazy because I have a lot of, I know I have a lot of things about me that are maybe unconventional or whatever. I don't know. But it's like I said, there's levels to crazy. We're like not crazy. We're not like Looney Tunes, crazy. Like, so we know toxic behavior when we see it. Oh, we know. My mother knows. We know. You know what? We're not toxic, so we can recognize toxic right away. I can smell it a mile away. We can see it, and so it's like you might be hiding this right now, or whatever. But like when it comes out, I'm gonna call it toxic. Okay, and my mother will too. My family, my sister, all. Yeah, it's toxic. If you're toxic, you can't live with somebody who's toxic. You can't, or you become toxic. And basically, you just sentence yourself to an early death. Okay? Because that's just what you're actually dealing with. That is the reality of it. That's for me, I can't handle stress. I cannot handle that type of stress. Absolutely no. I cannot handle that type of stress. I won't do it. And there's nothing, even if my mother wasn't who she was, right? And wasn't as supportive as she is and loving as she is. If she herself was toxic and she tried to force me to stay in a situation or tried to convince me or tried to meddle in my business in that way, like you better stay there or you need to do this, or, oh, let me give you another one. Oh, that's my grandchildren we're talking about. Oh, don't come between me and my grandchildren. My mother is very close to my kids. First of all, I feel like sometimes my boss, and especially my second one, I feel like I almost didn't even, like I didn't have him for me. I feel like I was just a portal to give to him to my grandparents, or my parents, his grandparents. Like he loves his grandma, right? But a lot of grandparents, depending on how good of a parent they were to you, but a lot of times they have inner guilt that they didn't give you enough love and nurturing. Okay, so they will shower the grandchildren with way too much, like they'll spoil their grandchildren because they'll think that it's kind of like a way of making up for what they didn't do for you, right? Now, my mother is definitely not, that's not the case with my mother at all. I actually do kind of believe that Boston was born for my parents. So that's another whole long story. But anyway, they have a beautiful relationship, right? And as my kid's mother, right, you definitely have to, if you have to have a choice. You're either going to be controlling or you're not, right? And you have to look at your kids. You have to be like, yeah, you know what? Go live your best life. If it's over there, if it's hours away from me, if it's here, or whatever, once they get to a certain age or whatever, you have to relinquish control like that. You absolutely have to. You can only do so much. You just do the best you can in the time that they're with you, and then the rest you have to give up to God. But a lot of parents don't know how to give up that control. So if I had a mom that was like, don't you dare break up or whatever, because that's going to, whatever with my grandbaby or whatever, you're going to, a lot. First of all, grandmothers and grandchildren and whatever, the connection that they have cannot be broken. Okay. And when you get divorced or whatever, you don't you're divorcing the person, not necessarily the whole family. Like, the point is that whoever has a good relationship with you, you keep that. If you foster a good relationship with somebody, family or not, the relationship is there, period. It's not going to get, nobody can come between that, right? It's you. You decide who you actually want to have a good relationship with, family or not. Some people act like your family and act like more like your family than your actual family, right? And then some people are the opposite. So it just depends. But the point is that you think I'm gonna let a situation? I'm like, you know what? I'd be like, I throw my kids at. I'd be like, here you go, mom. You can have them. I'm still not staying with this narcissist, but you can have these kids. I don't want to stand between you and the narcissist or whatever. So here you go. That's what I would do. I would be like, let me just go on ahead and, you know what? Call me when you need me. if that's how you feel about it or whatever, you live with a narcissist and those kids. I'm out. That's what I would be, okay? I'm just not going to put up with it. I just refuse to. I refuse to be that way, okay? But I know that this takes a lot of courage. I know it takes a lot of courage, but it really comes from two places. Your relationship with God, right? And you knowing right from wrong, right? And you actually having enough self-love to know that you don't deserve that type of treatment, right? So when you truly believe that and you know that God actually feels that way for you too, you have to believe that. You have to know that. And if you don't know, or you're not sure what scriptures to look at or whatever to give you that confidence, ask him for a sign. My dad used to say it all the time. Ask God for a sign and be specific. Be very specific for a sign, right? And then give him the opportunity to answer you, right? Just to prove that he loves you that much, right? See, the experience that I had in my dream that I talked about earlier with that full moon and feeling like I got a chance to feel God's love cover me. And he said, this is who I am. This is who I really am. This is real love. This is what unconditional love feels like. It's such a beautiful feeling. It's like, nobody can take that from me. Nobody can take that gift from me. It's like, I know what I know. I know what he showed me. And if it doesn't feel like that, if it doesn't feel like that to me, then I know it's not of him. And let me give you, let me say, in that dream, the way that I felt was such a beautiful feeling, but I had a similar feeling. One time in my life, a particular time in my life, I had a very similar feeling. It wasn't the exact same, but it was a very similar feeling. And that was when me and my first husband, when we finally got back together after our breakup, before we got engaged, we ended up getting engaged and getting married, right? But we had broken up for 4 months. But that first embrace after being broken up for 4 months, and we were not talking to each other, and this was all before smartphones and everything, so we had pagers, but I was hiding from him, and to be quite honest, I was a runner, and I didn't trust him. He told me some lies or whatever, and I just gave up on the whole thing and broke up with him. Because let me tell you something, I will let you go. If you're a liar, if you're gonna cheat, or if you're gonna not tell the truth about stuff or whatever, you know what? Yeah, I just, that's your behavior. That's what you did. You're gonna get like 1, 2, 3 strikes. You're out. When you're out, you're out. Okay, you're just done. And that's where I was at, right? So I had broke up with him. But he was at like 1 strike. Anyway, the point is that when we got back together, and that first hug, when I first saw him, and we had been months, and he had to actually come get me from Georgia, where I'm at right now, where I live right now. He had to actually come up here and get me, because I had already moved on to somebody else, right, that I was starting to date. So I had moved up here briefly, because I also had cousins and family here in the area and stuff. So, but anyway, he found out about it, and he literally came up and got me. I'm gonna have to tell that story another time, because that was another funny story. It's a real life story that I lived, right? But he came and got me. So, but when I first saw him, right, and I remember his knees buckled. It was so sweet when he saw me, because he didn't think I guess he kind of was afraid that I wasn't going to show up at the McDonald's that we met on the exit, right? But I did show up, of course. And I remember when we first, and we hugged each other, and we first, that embrace, that hug. I remember in my mind the warmth and the way that I felt in that moment. It felt like time stopped. It's like time stopped, and I remember feeling like I'm home. I literally felt like I'm home. It was like, I'm back home. And I knew because of the warmth and the way that I felt over my whole entire body. I knew there was never going to be any more separation between us, and that there was no other place I wanted to be, that he was my home, and that was love, that it was love that I was feeling. And that was what it was like when in my dream when I saw Jehovah's face. And the color that I was trying to say was like, it was like a gold or a silver or a bronze or whatever. It was pewter, I guess is the word, like a pewter type of metallic-y. That's the name, or that's what I'm trying to remember. But anyway, that's the feeling that I'm talking about, that kind of comes over you. That's what real love feels like. That's what real, genuine, unconditional love feels like. Anyway, to any woman out there who is going through something like this, right? You need to put yourself in stealth mode and, you know, grow some kahunas. I know we're females, but you know what? Go ahead and grow some, right? You just need to get some courage. Be like the lion in the Oz or whatever, and just get some courage. Ask for some courage, get some fake courage, whatever you need, right? Pray and pray for Holy Spirit to help guide your steps, and He will. And you know the level of manipulation that you're dealing with. So depending on what that level is or whatever, don't be afraid to get help or have your friends help you or whatever kind of help that you need to get out of the situation that you're in. But just know that that there is a way. There is a way out. You just have to take the control. You have to take the power away from them, right? You just have to do that. Or let them go ahead and just lose interest in you and find interest in somebody else, you know, just depending on your situation, you know. Anyway, I went on way much longer than I planned on doing it. So it's time for bed now. But I had all of this laid onto my heart, and I came back from the store, and I still had more I wanted to say, but the phone had got, my friend had called the phone. So anyway, just wanting to share all of that, and let me just go on ahead and say goodnight, and let me get on out of here.